Hello friends, I'm Christopher, and today I'm going to tell you my methods for transforming large industrial barrels into usable containers for planting and growing in the garden. Well, it's a brisk morning in May, and I got this brand new barrel, and I thought, this is a pretty interesting topic. So, today I'm telling you my techniques for taking a barrel and turning it into something that you can use to plant in your garden. First things first, be sure to get a food grade barrel. Plastic in particular comes in food grade or non-food grade, and to my knowledge it's about the kind of plastic that it's made from and whether you're going to have chemicals seeping into the soil and then into your plants. That's really all that comes to my mind. I ended up going for a food grade. You can find these very inexpensively if you do a little bit of research. This comes from a distribution center on Highway 26 and 41 in Wisconsin, and it was only $14. It's a used container. You can get these new from your big box stores, but they're pretty expensive. They can be $50 or $60, oftentimes marketed as rain barrels, and then you kind of feel bad cutting them up since they've already been made to serve a purpose. I like to go straight from the raw source and turn it into what I need to use it for, as you can see by the blue ones around me. And it's a hit or miss what's inside. In the past, I've had these and they've smelt of brine, so probably pickles or some sort of pickled item were in them. But once upon a time, I got one that smelled like amaretto, and it was amazing. So I'm interested to crack this open and see what it smells like inside. I can tell there's something sloshing around. But before we do that, we're going to start with the prep. So before we get started, we're going to drill some holes because it's a little bit easier, in my opinion, to turn this around when it's one piece still. I've got a 1/4 inch drill bit on my drill. The top and the bottom of the barrel are both going to be bottoms of half barrels when we're all said and done. So I'm just going to drill a series of holes along here. In this case, your barrel may be different. This one has caps for, filling and drainage and such in the past life. I'm going to leave those sealed and ignore them and put in holes of my own. Now I need to turn this whole 55-gallon barrel into a half barrel, and in order to do that I'm going to drill a couple of holes along the halfway point here and take my jigsaw, put the blade in the hole, and then just cut it in half. This plastic cuts pretty easily. Hello, Moose. Hi. Well, for anyone wondering, these smell like vinegar. Not sure what was in here, but it's not the most offensive smell. Anyways, now that these have been cut in half, pretty evenly I might add, just freehanding that, you'll notice that around the edge there's a little bit of plastic that sticks up, so I've got some coarse grit sandpaper. This is 60 grit. Just take it along the edge and wipe off those burrs. With the burrs off of the new white barrel, our next step before we fill it is to cut out some handles on either side. It makes moving these around in the garden a whole lot easier because they get pretty heavy when they've got soil and plants on the inside of them. So a nice pair of handles here that fit the size of your hand and maybe a little bit of curvature for your grip goes a long way. And because of the hardiness of this plastic, I like to go probably at least an inch from the top, but that's more than enough to be able to pick this up or at least slide it along the ground without worrying about ripping this or overexerting yourself. Your final step for preparation, once you've got the handles cut out on these, is to give them a good thorough washing to just rinse out whatever you got on the inside here, chemical-wise. You see I've got a couple more barrels for the next project. I'm going to be putting together a rain collection system. I've already got the stand built, but it's more than information than you needed to know. Let's get these washed. that's it. Now these half barrels are ready to go. In summary, we took one 55-gallon food-grade barrel and we cut it in half. We added drainage holes, we added handles, we washed it out, and we sanded off all the rough, gritty ends, and this is ready to go. So your next steps will vary depending on what you want to plant. In my case, I'm going to put a blueberry and an American cranberry. It's a very low variety, kind of like ground cover inside this. So my soil mixture is going to be about 2 parts compost to 3 parts soil, just native soil. And then I'll amend that with some things to keep the pH low because they prefer a pH of about 4.5. But depending on what you want to grow, you might want more sandy soil in here. Who knows? The sky's the limit. The nice part about growing in barrels, in my opinion, is it offers you the dependability of a raised bed where you can really amend the soil, but portability. So if you want to move this around to get ample sunlight throughout your growing season, you can. Or if you don't want that in your garden and you want to expand out of your confined space, you can. It's really nice. I've been growing in barrels for a couple years now to great success, and I'm excited to keep going with it. So have you been growing in barrels before? What do you do differently? What do you think I did right? What do you think I did wrong? Leave a respectful comment down below. Gardening is a lot about learning. Sometimes you try things and they work or they don't. This has worked for me, and I hope it'll work for you. Thanks a lot for watching. Plenty of other gardening videos on this channel. I hope you'll subscribe and check them out. And until next time, happy gardening. Bye.